I wake up to sunlight slicing through the blinds. It's soft, golden, perfect. Birds chirping, coffee brewing downstairs. I breathe in, thinking, this is it. Another perfect morning. David's in the kitchen before me, shirt crisp, tie perfectly knotted, hair exactly the way he likes it. He smiles when he sees me, that charming smile everyone admires, but I know it's a mask. Always a mask. Morning, love, he says, his voice smooth. Morning, I reply, pouring myself coffee. He leans against the counter, watching me, not a loving look, an assessment. You look nice, he says, eyes flicking over me. That dress, I hope it steps appropriate for tonight. I force a laugh. It steps fine, David, comfortable and professional. His smile tightens. Just, don't embarrass me tonight. The words land on me like a splash of ice water. I laugh again, lighter this time, masking the chill creeping under my skin. I wouldn't dream of it. But even as I say it, I feel it, that small seed of tension, buried in my chest. He always does this, turns pride into pressure, charm into control. The drive to the studio is quiet. I sit next to him, gripping my bag like an anchor. He hums along to the radio, occasionally glancing at me, as if testing me, testing if I'll break the perfect surface. We arrive. Cameras, lights, assistants buzzing everywhere. It's electric, exciting. My small role is just a blip, a brief introduction during his professional segment, but I'm proud. I've prepared. I've rehearsed. Remember, he whispers in my ear as we step onto the set. Dawn's set embarrass me. I nod, smile, my stomach tightens, ice crawling up my spine. Why does he always say it like that? The taping begins. David is magnetic, charismatic, funny. Everyone loves him. And there I am, beside him, supposed to be his supportive wife, his polished prop. Here steps my lovely wife, he announces on air, voice smooth. She steps, I'll help me tonight. I smile, wave. The applause is warm, but it's also a reminder. He controls this stage. He controls me. During a break, a colleague whispers, she's so lucky to have you. I force another smile. Internally, I grit my teeth.
Lucky?
Lucky? Look closer. I'm invisible, always the supporting act. David catches my eye. He leans in, just a whisper. Stay in line, Dawn set, overstep. I nod again, teeth clenched. Overstep? I'm just existing, breathing in your shadow. Is that overstepping now? Later, a producer asks me a question about David's sex segment. I answer, careful, polite. He interrupts, honey, let me handle this. It's complicated. I bite my tongue. Complicated? You just don't want me to shine. You never want me to shine. I glance at him. He's smiling, effortlessly charming, but I see it, the way he subtly belittles me in front of everyone, cloaked in humor, cloaked in love. The perfect mask. We finish taping, cameras off, applause fading. David pats my shoulder. Good job, he says, his tone soft, almost affectionate. Almost. But the words sting, because I know the truth. My heart tightens. The anger isn't loud yet. It's just simmering. A whisper in my chest that says, not forever. I drive home, replaying every moment, every smirk, every condescending Donstedt embarrass me. He chats easily with the crew, everyone laughing at his jokes. I smile politely, nodding, feeling small, invisible. Later at home, I pour another cup of coffee. Alone, the silence is loud, and I feel it fully now, the first real awareness of the cage I've been living in. I whisper to myself. Soft, almost afraid, I am not invisible, I am not invisible. And for the first time that morning, I allow the seed of resentment to grow. Quietly, carefully, but unmistakably. David enters the kitchen. He smiles. That same perfect, dazzling smile. He doesn't notice the storm brewing inside me. Not yet. Everything okay? He asks. I nod. Perfect, I lie. But inside, I know. Nothing is perfect, and it never will be, unless I decide it. The studio lights hit me first. Blinding, hot, unforgiving. My skin prickles. My hair sticks to my neck. I take a shaky breath, forcing it down into something that looks like calm. David stands beside me, perfect as ever. That smile, that polished charm. The audience claps. Cameras whirl. And I know this is his playground. The host's voice booms. Welcome back, everyone. Tonight we have David Morrison, and joining him, his lovely wife. I wave. I smile. I can feel the heat on my cheeks already. David leans in, whispers, "Remember Dawn set embarrass me." I nod. But inside I feel it, a storm already brewing. David, the host asks, "You always say your marriage is perfect. How do you do it?" He grins at me, that careful sparkle. Perfect. He laughs lightly. "Well, you see, I stummed the lucky one. My wife, she tries." The audience chuckles. I force a polite smile. Tries? Tries? Is that all I am? He leans closer to the camera. She sips great at keeping me in line. Honestly, sometimes I wonder how she does it. Laughter, warm, full echoing, but my stomach twists. He's not joking. He's mocking. I bite my lip. No. This can set be happening. The host, oblivious, nods. Sounds like a happy marriage to me. David chuckles again. Oh, it seps happy. She seps efficient, keeps everything running, keeps me organized. Organized? I whisper to myself. My hands clench, my mind races. Every audience eye is on me, every camera angle a mirror reflecting my humiliation. He tilts his head, smiling at the crowd. Sometimes she forgets herself. But that sip's okay. That sip's marriage, right? The audience laughs again, and I can feel my blood rising, hot and heavy, a mix of shock, disbelief, and humiliation. This is my life, my pain, my private struggles, and he's parading them like jokes. I try to smile, pretend I'm calm, pretend I'm enjoying it, pretend it's fine. But the words stick. Sharp, jagged. Don't embarrass me. He's not afraid of embarrassment, he's creating it, and I'm the target. The host moves on to a lighter question. So what's one thing you love most about each other? David Sutha's eyes flick to me. Love? Oh, I love that she keeps me grounded, keeps me humble. The word hangs in the air. A trap. He smirks. Yes, sometimes I forget my own brilliance until she reminds me I sap human. That's adorable. The audience laughs harder. I feel my face burning. My hands shake. My coffee-smooth morning facade has shattered. Adorable? Human? And he's turning my insecurities into a show. My life. His entertainment. I glance at him. The charm is still there. The perfect mask. But now I see the cruelty beneath it. Calculated, smooth, deliberate. The host, still smiling, asks, "Any advice for couples watching?" David grins at me. Advice? Don't be like us. She keeps me humble, keeps me laughing. Sometimes at her own expense. The audience roars. Applause, laughter, cheers. I nod. I smile. I laugh. I perform. The perfect wife. The prop. The punchline. But inside, my heart is breaking. My stomach knots. Rage simmers like molten lava. The segment ends. Cameras off. Applause fades. I step off the stage, legs weak. David pats my shoulder. See? Perfect. I swallow back a scream. Perfect, I whisper. Backstage, I feel the walls closing in. Crew members smile, congratulating him. Great segment, David. Fantastic, someone else says. I nod politely, smile, my hands still trembling. My voice quiet. Thank you. David leans in, whispers, "You did fine. Really." Fine? I think. Fine? I just got humiliated in front of millions. I walk to the dressing room, pretending to be calm, pretending the world hasn't tilted, pretending I don't want to scream, cry, and shake him all at once. I close the door behind me, lean against it. My knees weaken. He turned my life into a joke. My fears, my insecurities, all of it for laughter, and he smiled the whole time. I take a deep breath, try to ground myself. Don't cry, don't lose control, not here, not now. But the anger is there, sharp, relentless, real, it curls around my chest like fire. I whisper to the empty room, voice low, trembling, "I will make him pay. One day he'll regret this." The rage is no longer silent. It's simmering, patient, calculating. I step out of the dressing room, face composed, smile intact. The world sees calm, the world sees me performing. Inside, though, I am already plotting, already imagining the scales tipping. David glances at me. Good job today. I nod. Thanks. But he doesn't know. He won't know. Not yet. And that is power. I lock the door behind me. The sound echoes, hollow, final. David isn't here, that's good. Or maybe it's worse. The emptiness stretches in every corner of the house. The quiet presses against my ears. I sink onto the couch, phone in hand, my fingers hover over Sophie's number. My chest feels tight, raw, I need someone to hear it. To see it. I dial. Hey, you okay? Sophie's voice, warm and steady, immediately cuts through the tension. No, I admit before I can stop myself. I don't know what to do. What happened? Her voice softens. I close my eyes. The studio flashes behind my eyelids. Lights, cameras, David smiling like a king, and me burning, small, exposed. He humiliated me, Sophie. On live TV, millions watching, and I laughed. I smiled. I was supposed to laugh. Pretend it's okay. Sophie Sep's sigh comes through the line. Abdul, that Sep's awful, I Sep's so sorry, I can Sep's supplicative even imagine. I squeeze my eyes shut, feeling tears prick. I thought our marriage was real, perfect. But it's Sep's all performance. And I let it happen. I let him control how the world sees me. And maybe I let him control me. Sophie is quiet for a moment. Then you such are not alone. You such are not the problem here. He suchers cruel. That sucher is on him. I nod, though she can see it. I keep replaying it in my head. Every word, every smirk, every laugh, and I keep asking myself, how did I not see it before? How did I let it get this far? Sophie Sep's voice is firm. Because he Sep's good at hiding it. That Sep's what people like him do. But you see it now, and that Sep's power. Power? I echo. The word feels foreign in my mouth. My voice trembles. Yes, knowledge is power. Awareness is power. And now you can choose. You don't have to just let him run the show. I sink deeper into the couch, legs pulled up. I wrap my arms around them. I can sleep. I keep seeing it, feeling it. Every laugh, every applause. It steps like it steps burned into my brain. And the worst part, I didn't even fight back. I just froze. You shall fight back, Sophie says softly. Not now, but soon, you shall plan. You shall rise. 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 Her words ignite something in me. Something quiet, smoldering, not just anger, but clarity. I think about my mornings, my evenings, my constant efforts to smooth his image, my complicity. My silence. I let him erase me, I whisper. I let him make me invisible. And part of me feels guilty for letting it happen. That guilt? It steps natural, Sophie reassures. But don't let it chain you. You stronger than this. You always been strong. And you are awake now. That's what matters. I nod again. I keep thinking, if I had just spoken up, just said something, just anything, maybe it wouldn't have gone like this. But I didn't I let it happen. And now, I don't want to just survive. I want freedom. Real freedom. Sophie is quiet. Then that's your first step. Decide that you deserve it. And the rest, you will figure it out. I hang up. The phone feels heavier in my hand. My living room is silent again, but the silence is different now, less hollow, less suffocating. I walk to the window, staring out at the city lights. My reflection stares back at me. The woman who smiled, laughed, and pretended. The woman who let her life become a punchline. But now, I notice the edges of something else. A spark, a plan, quiet, patient, calculating. I can't erase what happened, I think, but I can decide what happens next. Sleep evades me. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, mind spinning, every memory of David's words, his smirks, the applause. They play like a loop, but beneath the hurt, beneath the humiliation, I feel it. A small, fierce ember. Not revenge yet, not action yet, but the first glimmer of liberation. He thinks he owns my story. I whisper to the darkness. He doesn't, not anymore. The night stretches, my thoughts sharpen, obsessive, yes, painful, yes, but also clear. Tomorrow? I begin, not with anger alone, but with purpose. I watch him from the kitchen window, coffee in hand. David moves through the living room like he owns the space, like he owns me. The sunlight hits his hair, glinting gold, perfect, untouchable, charming. I feel something twist inside me, not sadness, not hurt, anger, sharp, hot, burning. He thrives on this, I whisper to myself, on being admired, on controlling the world's perception of him. I remember the applause from the show, the laughter echoing like a cruel soundtrack. My humiliation wasn't enough. He needed adoration, needed validation, and I had let him have it, unquestioned. I pull out my phone. Marcus, the producer. Maybe he doesn't see the cracks. Maybe he never noticed. I dial. Marcus? I say, my voice calm, polite. Sophie's friend? He asks immediately, warm but cautious. No, David Sip's wife. I correct him, tone light. I wanted to talk about the show. About David. There sets a pause. Oh, okay, sure, let's meet. I hang up. I smile at my reflection in the black screen of the phone. Calm, innocent, calculating. At the cafe, I see Marcus already. He stands, smiles, shakes my hand. Good to see you, finally. Likewise, I say. I settle into my chair, hands folded. I wanted to clear the air. About last week. You mean the segment? He asks, raising an eyebrow. Yes, David's second segment, I say carefully. I feel like maybe I overreacted backstage, but I noticed some things. About him. About how he handles people. Marcus leans in. Go on. I sip my coffee slowly. It steps fascinating, really. How someone can be so charming, publicly adored, and yet so self-absorbed, so careful about appearances. The way he manipulates reactions, how he feeds off praise, and laughs, at the wrong moments. Marcus nods, attentive. David can be intense. Intense is one word, I murmur. Obsessed with how the world sees him is another. And I want to understand it better. For myself. Maybe for the show too. Insight. Honest insight. Marcus chuckles lightly. I see, you want the inside scoop. Exactly. I say, smiling. I want the real David. Not the polished perfect one. Not the one everyone claps for. The unguarded one. The one who trips over his own ego. His eyes narrow slightly. That sup's risky. David doesn't set like people seeing that side. I know, I say softly. That sep's why I need someone who knows the truth and isn't sept afraid to share it. I see Marcus shift. Curious. Hesitant. He doesn't know yet what I'm planting. But he's listening. He's important. And he's my first step. Later I walk home. Mind racing. I replay every interaction with David. Every smirk. Every dismissive glance. Every don't embarrass me whisper. This is him, I think. Prideful. Obsessed with appearances. Selfish. Arrogant. Beloved by the blind and the shallow. And I know the truth. I remember the mornings I prepped his outfits. Polished his image. The dinners where I laughed at his jokes. Even when they cut too deep. The nights I stayed silent while he basked in admiration. I feel my hands clench. My nails dig into my palms. Rage, yes. But also, clarity. Focus. If he lives for appearances, I murmur aloud, pacing the living room, then that sep's where I still strike, in front of everyone, where it hurts most. I pull out my laptop. Notes. Ideas. Strategies. Subtle. Patient. Calculated. I write down every weakness I've noticed. Every insecurity he hides. Every time he needs applause to feel whole. Every person who admires him blindly. Friends. Colleagues. The public. I plan. I map out conversations. Opportunities. Alliances. Marcus will be my channel. My insider. My tool. I smile faintly. Quiet, dark. Satisfying. He thinks he owns the stage. He thinks he owns the story. But I own the knowledge. And knowledge is power. I flash back to last week. Live lights. Cameras rolling. Him smiling. Laughing. Me shrinking. Audience cheering. Every laugh at my expense will become his undoing. I jot down the first steps. Soft probes, casual questions, seeding doubt, quiet manipulations, observing, listening, learning. David enters the room then. Unexpectedly, I stand, forcing a smile. He doesn't notice the shift in me, can't see the calculation behind my eyes. Planning something, he asks. Teasing. Just thinking, I reply. Light. Innocent. He grins, oblivious. Dawn sept overthink it. You sept you're fine. Fine? I think. Not anymore. He walks away, whistling. I watch his back, feeling something I haven't felt in years. Not fear, not submission, not hurt. Power, quiet, patient, smoldering. And I know the first seeds are planted. He will see the real me soon enough. And when he does, there will be no charm to save him. I slip into the studio like a shadow. Nobody notices me, not the crew, not the assistants, not even Marcus. That's the point. I'm everywhere and nowhere, invisible. Marcus greets me with a nod, eyes flicking around nervously. You sure about this? I said I'm sure, I whisper, smiling. Quiet, patient, precise. Timing is everything, and he one set see it coming. He frowns. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Not physically, I reply. My voice soft, almost casual, but he needs to see himself clearly, and the public will help me with that. Marcus swallows. He's nervous, but he trusts me, or maybe he just doesn't know better. Either way, he's useful. We move through the corridors, scripts in hand. I've memorized every line David will read, every cue, every pause, every moment designed to make him look perfect. Perfect, until it stuts not. Can we tweak this part here? I say, pointing to a section of the script. Marcus glances. It's set small, just a pause before he delivers his line. Exactly, I murmur. A pause. Just long enough for the audience to notice, to feel it, to see him falter. He hesitates. You Scepter really going through with this? I am, I say. Voice low, calm, certain. He Seps built his life on control, on appearances. Tonight, I give him a mirror, and it will reflect him exactly as he is. The production crew moves around us, setting lights, testing cameras. I watch every detail, every technician, every assistant, every microphone placement. Everything can be leveraged. Everything can be used. I whisper to Marcus, shift the timing of the camera here. On this line, make sure the spotlight hits him. Not me, him. He nods, impressed despite himself. Yusep thought of everything. I have to, I say, tapping the table, because one mistake, one slip, and I sep him exposed, and he wins. A pause, a small breath. Yes, I have to stay invisible, patient, strategic. I wander to the control room, where monitors flicker with rehearsals. I watch David on screen, rehearsing, smiling, charming, oblivious to the storm I've already set in motion. Oblivious and arrogant. Perfect targets. I can't help a small smile. Quiet, dark, satisfying. But doubt creeps in. What if I fail? I whisper to myself. What if this doesn't hurt him the way I think it will? What if it only feeds my anger and leaves me empty? I shake my head. I can't think like that. Not now, not ever. Everything okay? Marcus asks, breaking the silence. I glance at him. I stum fine, focused. This is all about control. And tonight, I take some of it back. He nods, still uneasy. Just promise me you still be careful. I will, I murmur. The crew starts finalizing lighting. I watch as they adjust cameras, moving lenses slightly, subtle angles. Perfect. Every detail aligned with my plan. I rehearse my own lines quietly. I don't speak much during the setup, just enough to stay invisible, but inside I'm rehearsing the entire sequence. Every beat, every reaction, every pause that will make David human, flawed, vulnerable. The thrill is intoxicating. Quiet, patient power, simmering beneath the surface. But so is fear. One misstep and I'm caught. One slip and everything crumbles. I glance at the monitors again. David, rehearsing, laughing. The world adores him, blindly. And I will show them the truth. Marcus leans closer, whispering, He doesn't suspect a thing. No, I reply softly. He suspects nothing, and that sets the beauty of it. The perfect mask, ready to shatter. I step back, letting the crew think I'm just another assistant, another quiet presence. But I'm orchestrating everything: timing, placement, reaction, each element carefully calculated to make him falter in front of the audience he so desperately wants to impress. My heartbeat accelerates. Excitement, adrenaline, rage, purpose. I pause, staring at my reflection in a black monitor. The woman who once smiled through humiliation, who stayed silent while he thrived, she is gone. In her place, someone patient, strategic, dangerous. I whisper to the empty control room, almost afraid anyone could hear. One night, that's all it will take. One night to show the world the real him. Marcus glances at me. You star sure? I nod, calm, I'm sure, and after tonight, nothing will ever be the same. The final checks are done, cameras rolling, lights locked, microphones live. I step back, breathing slow, heart steady, but mind razor sharp, every instinct alert, every detail accounted for. This is it, I think. The stage is mine, the spotlight is his, and soon the world will see the cracks. The real David, the one he hides. I take one last breath, steadying myself, calm, invisible, patient, ready, and I wait. The studio buzzes with energy. Cameras spin, lights blaze, the audience chatter hums in my chest like electricity. I breathe slowly, calm, invisible, focused, every detail rehearsed, every cue mapped. Tonight the stage is mine, quietly, carefully. Marcus gives me a nod. Go. David strides onto the stage, all charm, all confidence. The audience erupts. He smiles, dazzling, flawless, perfect. Until now. I watch him, hidden in plain sight. Every laugh, every glance at the cameras, every wave to the crowd, it all fuels him. I can see it in his posture, the tilt of his head, ego inflated, arrogance shining. Tonight, he announces, voice strong, I want to share a little story about our marriage, about me. The audience leans in. Anticipation builds. I feel my pulse quicken. I whisper to Marcus, who sits crouched beside the console. Now. He presses a button. The teleprompter flickers. Words I planted scroll across it. Not for David, but for the audience. Subtle, sharp, revelatory. David reads. Unaware at first, the audience quiets. Murmurs ripple like a wave. Wait. What? David stammers. His perfect smile falters. I feel it. A thrill, sharp and sweet. The first crack. The audience gasps. Cameras catch his hesitation. Every eye is on him. Every applause line he counted on disappears. I whisper to myself, soft, almost afraid of the power in my voice. This is it. The perfect mask breaking. David Sepp's charm wavers. He stumbles through lines trying to recover. I don't stet taps. Laughter. Shock. The audience isn't sure. Their eyes search, hungry for clarity. I feel a pang of guilt. Am I cruel? Am I vindictive? But I shake it off. The betrayal, the humiliation he inflicted on me on live TV was far worse. This is balance. Poetic. Necessary. David sweats. His eyes flicker across the stage. He looks at me, bewildered. Searching, smiling, no. Confused. Vulnerable. The secret scrolls on the teleprompter, exposing a lie only he thought was hidden, a selfish decision, a manipulative act, one he used to polish his image, elevate his ego. The audience murmurs again. Shock spreads. Phones click. Social feeds light up. His followers, his fans. They don't know what to think. The perfect David. Imperfect. Human. Flawed. He attempts to laugh it off. That sets. Misunderstood. But the charm doesn't land. Not tonight. The audience senses the fracture. I feel it in my bones, in the air thick with tension. I lean back slightly, heart racing. Thrill, yes. Satisfaction, yes. But a whisper of guilt nags. This is my first strike, and I've never done anything like this before. David sweeps his hand, trying to regain control. We all make mistakes. The audience isn't buying it. Cameras capture every twitch, every falter. His carefully constructed image is cracking, first subtly, then undeniably. I watch, silent, calculating. My pulse pounds with exhilaration. Power. Finally. I hear Marcus whisper beside me, excitement tinged with fear. Sep's done it. It's Sep's happening. I nod, barely. My mind races. This is only the first strike, but the momentum is mine now. David tries to laugh. An awkward, hollow sound. I remember every time he made me feel small. Every time he whispered, "Don't embarrass me." Every smirk at my expense. The flash of memory makes my satisfaction deepen. Quiet, patient, satisfying. The teleprompter now shifts back to normal lines. David struggles to continue, fumbling, sweating. The audience watches him not as a star but as a man, flawed, real, human. I feel a pang of something else. Uncertainty. Will this truly heal me? Or am I feeding my anger, letting it grow instead of letting it go? But as he stumbles, as the audience reacts, a subtle shift happens. The balance of power tilts. No longer is he untouchable. Not tonight. The host asks a light-hearted question, trying to save the segment. David smiles, but it's brittle, hollow. The charm is gone, the public image fractured. I watch him fight for composure, voice strained. I'll learn from our mistakes, he says, voice cracking slightly. The audience murmurs, whispers, clicks phones. They see it. The cracks, the human, the ego. I bite my lip, holding back a shiver of triumph. Not gloating, not loud. Just satisfaction, quiet and calculated. Marcus whispers, "Sept shifted everything." One strike, and the audience knows a different side of him. I nod. It steps just the beginning. But tonight he sees the first reflection of reality. And I finally have a glimpse of control. David sweats through the segment, trying desperately to recover. Every gesture, every line, every smile falls short. I watch, heart pounding, pulse sharp. The cameras finally cut to a commercial break. David retreats off stage, tense, scanning the audience, scanning me. I step back, invisible again, calm, patient. He thinks he owns the stage. He thinks he owns the story. But I own this moment. The first strike, the first taste of balance, the first crack in his perfect world. And as I watch him stumble, charm faltering, I know something essential: the power has shifted, subtly, quietly, irreversibly. I watch from the corner of the room, coffee in hand, as the messages roll in. Screens light up with whispers, screenshots, and shocked reactions. Friends, colleagues, even casual acquaintances. They're all talking about him. About David. "Did you see the segment?" One friend asks another, voice low but urgent. "Yeah, I can believe he said that," the other replies. "All that charm and he seps." They don't know the half of it. I sip my coffee slowly, letting the words wash over me. The power shift is real. Subtle, yes, but undeniable. David paces in the next room. I hear the familiar rhythm of his agitation, the click of his shoes, the muttered curses. He's trying to regain control, trying to spin the narrative. I can help but smile faintly. "Marcus." I hear him shout, though I can see him. "Did you explain? Did anyone?" "Yes, David," Marcus says, calm but firm. "They saw, the audience saw. The feeds went viral. People are talking, and they are not all on your side." David stops, frozen mid-step. No, they can stet. "They already have," Marcus interrupts. "Friends, colleagues, even sponsors. Some are distancing themselves." I feel a thrill, sharp and cold. The man who built his empire on appearances, on loyalty bought through charm, suddenly vulnerable. I hear a knock. My sister Sep's voice, soft but sharp. "David, can we talk?" "Not now," he snaps. Busy. "Important things." She interrupts. "This is important. All of it. People are noticing. They are asking questions." His jaw tightens. "I can fix it. I always fix it." "You can fix this," she says quietly, carefully. "Not the way you think. Not the way before." I pause, absorbing the scene from the kitchen doorway. Triumph. Yes. Satisfaction. Justice. But also, something else. A pang. A realization. Some innocence is gone. Some trust. some illusions of love, of marriage, shattered. I remember the mornings we shared coffee, the evenings we laughed quietly, the whispers of I love you that felt real. They're not gone, but they're altered, burned by the revelation of who he truly is. David, his mentor, chimes in, voice heavy with disappointment. I don't understand. Is this really you? I thought I knew you. David opens his mouth, but no words come. His charm fails him again. The mask slips further. I sit back, letting the tension roll through the room. Every crack, every falter, every whisper of doubt. It's mine. My patient work, my subtle orchestration. And yet, my heart tightens. This is not just revenge, I think. This is exposure. This is truth. And even though he deserves it, I can't pretend it doesn't hurt too. David glares at me suddenly, eyes sharp, accusatory. You did this. You've been planning. I shrug, calm, innocent, calculated. I just told the truth. That sips all. Truth? His voice breaks slightly. You humiliated me, publicly. Humiliated? I echo softly. Or finally revealed what everyone suspected. What you hid behind charm and charisma. His lips press into a thin line. Silence fills the room. Friends and family watch. Unsure, tense. I watch him unravel, each word and look peeling away the layers he spent years constructing. This is the power of revelation, I think. The subtle shift from admiration to doubt, from control to uncertainty. A friend speaks cautiously. David, maybe we need to rethink some things. You've been different lately. This behavior. David shakes his head, desperate, trying to reclaim footing. No, you are all misunderstanding. But the murmurs continue. The whispers grow louder. Friends glance at each other, nodding, questioning, distancing. I feel it. The tide has turned, subtle but unstoppable. I step back into the quiet of the hallway, arms crossed. Triumph tastes sharp on my tongue. Sweet, necessary. But the sting of loss is beneath it. A quiet sadness I hadn't expected. I am changing too. Hardened, patient, calculating, observing, not the same woman who once laughed at his jokes, who once stayed silent through humiliation. I remember Sophie's voice, steady, warm. You're awake now, that's power. Yes, awake, powerful, but altered. I glance back at David, his face is pale, tense, eyes darting, friends whisper, family questions, the world he controlled so perfectly is cracking, piece by piece. And I am the catalyst, invisible, strategic, patient. I inhale slowly. The satisfaction is tempered with grief. Some of what I loved, some of what I believed, is gone forever. But what remains is real, sharp, true, controlled, mine. I whisper to myself, quiet, almost mournful. It studs, the mask is falling, and I am free. The door slams behind him, echoing through the apartment like a warning. I hear his breathing, sharp, ragged, a mix of rage and disbelief. You did this, he spits, voice low, dangerous. All of it, you planned it. I lean back against the counter, arms crossed, calm. Yes, David. Every word, every pause, every moment. He storms closer, fists clenched. Do you have any idea what you've done? My reputation, my career, everything. I watch him carefully, not scared, not apologetic, just observing, patient, calculating. You humiliated me, he says, voice cracking slightly, publicly. Everyone saw, everyone. And yet? I reply softly, almost mournfully, you've been humiliating me for years. Private jokes, whispers, condescension, your charm hid the cruelty. But tonight, the world saw you, the real you. He stops, breathing heavy, eyes searching mine, trying to find a flaw, a weakness, something to break me. There's nothing, I whisper. I've always been here. I just waited. David laughs bitterly, almost deranged. You waited? You became this calculated, vengeful. Yes, I interrupt, voice firm. I became someone who doesn't shrink, someone who takes back control, someone who refuses to be invisible while you bask in adoration, while you turn my pain into entertainment. He shakes his head, stepping closer. Do you even feel guilty? Remorse? I consider it. A flicker of guilt passes through me, Brief, sharp, but I push it aside. No, not for what I did, not for exposing the truth. The guilt is yours, David, for every time you mocked me, every time you whispered dead and set embarrass me, every laugh at my expense. His hands drop, defeated, and for the first time I see it regret. Real regret, fear even. I didn't think, he stammers. I thought people would understand. They understood, I say softly, letting the silence fill the room. They just finally saw what I kept known all along. You thrive on appearances, David, on control, on admiration. But you forgot one thing, truth always surfaces. His eyes flash, a mix of anger and shame. You stir relentless, ruthless. I can believe. You should believe it, I reply. Because this isn't about revenge, not really. It's about me, reclaiming myself, reclaiming my voice, my dignity, my life. He takes a step back, rubbing his face. I can see him unraveling, the man who once controlled everything, now unmoored. I didn't realize, his voice drops to a whisper. I didn't realize how much I hurt you, how much I broke you. You did, I say, steady, calm, and now, the mask is gone, and so is the old us. This is what freedom feels like, painful, bittersweet, necessary. He collapses into the chair, hands over his face. I sit opposite him, quiet, watching, observing. The rage he brought into my life, mirrored back at him, softened only by the clarity of exposure. You orchestrated this perfectly, he admits finally, voice hoarse. Every detail, every timing, I learned from you, I say quietly. Every subtle move, every manipulation, I observed, I waited, I calculated, and now, I act. David lifts his head, eyes wet, red-rimmed. Do you hate me? I don't know if hate is the right word, I whisper. I feel liberated. Angry? Yes. Painful memories? Yes. But hatred? No. I feel awakened. I see clearly. And I will never let someone dim my light again. He slumps back, silent, broken. I sense the gravity of what has just happened, the moment of reckoning. You changed, he says softly. Not just me, you yourself. I nod, a sad smile playing at my lips. Yes, I changed, stronger, wiser, and finally, free. He looks at me, searching, pleading, ashamed. Can we? No, I say firmly, voice cold but not cruel. There's nothing to forgive. This isn't about forgiveness. This is about truth, about reclaiming what you tried to take from me. The silence stretches, thick, heavy, and I feel the weight of the years, the lies, the whispers, the laughter at my expense, lift slightly, replaced by a strange, quiet catharsis. I hope you understand, I whisper, standing, voice resolute. This isn't the end for me, but it the end of us, and it the first time you they've ever truly faced yourself. He doesn't respond, can't respond. The shame, the anger, the regret, they are tangled, heavy, immovable. I walk to the door, pausing just long enough to meet his eyes one last time. Goodbye, David. And in that moment, I realize, my revenge wasn't about destruction. It wasn't about humiliation. It was about reclaiming myself, my voice, my power, my life. And finally, I am free. The morning light hits differently now. Softer, clearer, not the sharp glare of judgment or expectation I used to wake up under when he was in my life. I breathe in deeply, letting the air fill my lungs. Free. Sophie is already in the kitchen, pouring coffee with that calm, unwavering presence she always had. You slept? She asks, smiling knowingly. I did, I reply, letting the warmth of the mug anchor me. Actually slept, without dreams of him, without that tension pressing on my chest. She nods, eyes gentle. It a different world now, isn't it? Yes, I whisper. A better one I own. I glance at my phone. The news headlines scroll by. David's segment going viral, backlash everywhere, sponsors distancing, friends questioning loyalty. The man who built his world on appearances, exposed, human, fallible. Part of me wants to feel triumphant. The other part aches slightly. Power tastes sweet. Yes, but there's still the sting of loss. Some illusions of love, trust, and partnership, gone forever. Sophie sits across from me, watching silently. You know? She says softly. You've changed, not just because of what you did, but because you finally saw yourself, really saw yourself. I look away, tracing the rim of my cup. I see her now. The woman who stayed silent too long, who let someone else define her value. She's gone. And in her place, I's grown, stronger, smarter, wiser. Good, Sophie says, a smile creeping in. Because you deserve that, every ounce of it. I take a deep breath, letting her words sink, and I think about the scars. They're still there. I touch the faint lines on my wrists from years of emotional tension, the echoes of sleepless nights, of second-guessing myself. They're part of me, a reminder of what I endured, but now they're not chains. They're proof that I survived, that I rose. I hear a knock at the door. A few new allies, people I've met along the way, impressed by the courage of my first strike, intrigued by my strategic mind, stand there tentative yet hopeful. We wanted to check in, one says. See how you're doing. Offer help, partnership, even. I smile. A real wide smile. Stum doing well, better than I have in years, and I spet like nothing more than to work together, to build, to create, to thrive. They exchange looks, surprised at my composure, at the quiet power radiating from me. I realize something crucial for the first time: people see me, not David, not the wife in his shadow. Me. Sophie squeezes my hand under the table. See? You said her radiant, fearless. I laugh softly. Radiant, fearless, I like that, but it's still new, fragile in a way. Fragile doesn't mean weak, she says. It means human, real, and you start thriving. I nod, letting the warmth of the words wash over me. Yes, thriving, independent, in control. The clarity of vision I've been craving, personal and professional, is finally mine. No compromises, no hidden agendas, no one dictating my worth. I think back to the years of manipulation, the whispers of "don't embarrass me," the carefully crafted public image I was supposed to uphold. How long I let his control seep into my identity, molding me into a reflection of his ego. It's gone now, burned away in the fire of exposure, leaving ashes behind, and from those ashes I rise. Later I meet with Marcus, who once worked with David. He seems tentative at first, wary of my intentions, but I speak plainly, calmly, with authority. I learned a lot about manipulation, about power, and I intend to use it wisely, from now on, for me. He nods slowly. I can see that. And You've got my support, completely. Even the thought of David lingers in my mind. Occasionally, not with anger anymore, not with longing, but with clarity. He was a teacher in his own way. A harsh one, yes, but a teacher nonetheless, and I've passed the test. I step into my office later, walls lined with books, plans, ideas, sketches of projects I've been dreaming about for years. For the first time, everything feels aligned. My mind is clear, my purpose sharp. The vision I've been chasing isn't clouded by doubt or fear. It's mine. I hear Sophie laughing in the living room, talking with our new allies. I pause at the doorway watching. The sense of community, of genuine connection, fills the apartment like sunlight. I realize I never truly had that before. Everything had been filtered through David's lens: approval, admiration, fear, control. Now it's authentic. I walk to the mirror, pausing to look at myself, not just my face, my posture, my eyes. The way I hold my shoulders, the quiet strength radiating from me. The scars are there, yes, but they don't define me. They remind me of what I endured, what I survived. I smile, a deep, knowing smile. The woman staring back at me is resilient, unapologetic, victorious, not because she destroyed someone else, but because she reclaimed herself. I whisper to my reflection, soft but firm, "You are free, and no one can take this from you." Sophie calls from the other room. Coffee break. I laugh, a full, joyful laugh. Coffee break, and then we build everything I ever dreamed of. I pause for a moment, taking in the apartment, the sunlight, the faces of those who support me. A new chapter begins, one written entirely by me. No compromises, no shadows, only truth, only growth. And as I finally close the door behind the last echoes of yesterday, I know this: the past shaped me, the betrayal strengthened me, and the victory, quiet, strategic, earned, defines me. I am no longer the wife in someone else's story. I am the author of my own. The ashes are behind me. The fire still burns within, and rising from it, I am unstoppable.